Now then, Gerd, I'm glad I've got you wrangled up over here, and you are with the Magna Matic Corporation.
Yep, and we've been around since 1958. We primarily focus on lawnmower blade service, so that's balancing, cleaning, sharpening, the whole package. And we essentially have 2 sharpening models and 1 cleaning model. And this is the Mag 9000.
Mag 9000.
Correct. This is the unit that is primarily popular with landscapers. It is mainly designed for doing flat, straight cutting edges, so conventional mower blades, right-handed, and consistently grinding a 30-degree cutting edge angle. And what's unique about our sharpeners is we run at 3450 RPM, and we use a bit softer grinding wheel, and we move our wheel on an arc. So at the point of intersection between our table and the wheel, with this crank here, you can raise and lower the wheel. And when the wheel is almost touching the work table...
Let me back up. Yep. Can you go ahead and let you move around?
So you can see here the wheel is going up, and now the wheel is coming down, and when the wheel is almost contacting the work table, that will consistently grind 30 degrees over the life of that wheel. So the operator just keeps lowering the wheel to that same point, and you can rely on having the same angle.
And by doing that, by moving the wheel instead of the table,
correct,
you are not wearing the wheel in such a manner that it rounds the edges off. And
exactly, there's that benefit. You know, a non-moving table is also more rigid and sturdy.
And consistent.
Exactly, and this machine, for being a relatively small size, it's 8 by 8 by 12 deep, it's 50 pounds. So we also put a lot of weight in the machine because you need rigidity while grinding, because grinding is an aggressive process, and without rigidity, you never have smooth, quiet grinding. And so this unit does not need to be bolted to a table unless you put it like on our pedestal. You know, just for safety we bolt it down, but you can work it on a normal workbench and it's not going to walk away.
Now, on this cost structure here, does not include the pedestal itself.
That price does, but that is a show special price. That is only for the show and only for attendees of the show. So that's a special deal for this system here.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this. All right, we're MaxsGarajMahal. We always work in discount systems with people. Do you have any kind of discount you offer down the road? Any companies work with us, they just use MGM. It's real simple to put in. If you have a discount code, you can offer them anything for that for down the road. Since they're not here, people watching this are not normally at the shows.
Sure.
So we're trying to get you the people that's out there that's working every day, that's working today. So is there anything you can offer them to bring them into your...
Sure, I don't have anything set up now to tell you right in this video here, but I will say that we do have system packages listed on our website, and they already come at a 5% discount. So when you bundle things or you get any of our systems, you will be getting a discount with those systems.
Can we work something further above that down the road?
We can look at it.
Because we've got a whole bunch of different Facebook groups, we have forums. There's a lot of people out there looking for some way to do this. It's not just on the side of the truck. But I did notice this is a smaller system than the 2 maximum jobs over here. And what I was thinking is they could mount this inside a trailer.
It can, yep.
And therefore they could run this off of their alternator system of their vehicle. So it could be used in the field, technically.
It's got a, you know, an inverter system. It might be right on the edge depending on the size of it. A small.
Well, I was going to ask you the size of the motor in this thing. What is amp and wattage pull, do you know?
1/2 horse, and I believe the running amps off the top of my head are 9.
That could be run off of a truck alternator. Yeah, okay. So this can technically be used in the field if you wanted to, right? If you have a large enough operation to need that.
Sure, yep.
Okay, all right. So I always like to point out anything that you're not telling me, if I can pull it out of you so they'll see it. Okay, all right. Now, so which of these 2 here would you like to...
So this unit here, even though we're kind of looking at the back of it, the special thing about this unit is that it can do curved edge mulching blades. So when you actually have bends and curvatures in the cutting edge,
we can
keep the same angle along the length of the curved cutting edge.
Great. All right. Do you have no junk blade we can run through one time?
We can run.
I think I saw
run that one through, or we can do it on the cleaner. He's working right there right now. You can kind of see the balancer
let's watch.
From the back.
In this case,
so what he's showing with the balancer is we're looking for equal weight distribution.
Right.
So real quickly, if a blade would sit horizontal, the two halves would be in equal weight.
Correct.
But this side is heavier because gravity is pulling it down. And what we want to pay attention to is how fast it's rotating. The speed at which it rotates or falls to 6 o'clock is our indication of how bad the balance is.
Right.
Typically, if it takes less than 4 seconds to drop, that is a blade that really does need correction. If it takes much longer than that, like 6 or 7 seconds, or it moves really, really slow, that's going to be such a small out of balance condition because of the high accuracy of our balancer to give you that quick reading. You know, so when the blade moves that slow, that would still be worthwhile to put back on the mower, and you would be fine because again, that's fractions of an ounce at that point.
For our technical guys that are going to ask me this, and I haven't got the answer yet, what bearings are you using in your balancing application?
They're referred to as instrument bearings, and I won't get into the long specs. I don't have all of it in the top of my head right now, but they are an instrument bearing that we have set up for us.
But they're high precision ground is what
very
they
much
are.
so.
And
It's very
hardened.
low frictional resistance,
Right.
so that when the blade is on there, it hardly moves. But keep in mind, the whole unit has to be calibrated, so it's not just the balancer, but the unit and all the parts have to be calibrated, and all the parts have to be concentric to each other down the same center line. So it has to do with a lot of the accurate machining of this slide and cone arrangement that slides forward.
Right.
And so that is an extremely accurate slide, and it needs to be. If you have a balancer that the slide is all sloppy, there are some Chinese imitations of our product.
Oh yeah.
And when you notice that magnet slaps forward or slaps backward, there's so much rock and slop in that slide that the parts are not all concentric, and you'll never get a consistent, accurate reading.
And the reason why I was putting my finger on it, me being an old machinist, is I was looking for frictional drag.
And
there is none.
Very accurate.
Yeah, this is not your centering device on your lathe.
No, a live center. No, it's
yeah,
not.
this is not something we're going to put a ton and a half of pressure from the tailstock on.
No.
So yeah, it's,
The cone is really just there to locate the concentric center point of the blade or the center of rotation, because that's why we can't hang a blade on a nail in the wall, because we're at the top of the hole. We have to measure from the center of rotation.
And the friction on the nail as it one way or the other tries to skip over that nail.
Talk about that, but the bigger problem, you're dead in the water by already not being in the center point.
Correct. And this magnetized cone is going to...
Well, the cone isn't magnetized. The cone,
but over the
ring
cone
is the magnet that holds the blade on the cone.
Right, and with that much magnetization and still that low friction, you've done well.
Yes.
You've done very well.
This is also a product that we've been making since 1958. My grandfather actually invented it. We're a third-generation family company, and so you are also buying factory direct. So keep in mind, if anybody has an old balancer from the 60s or the 50s, we still rebuild those. And even your balancer today, we give you a lifetime calibration warranty on the unit. So you can send the unit into us, we'll take it apart, clean it, re-grease it, and calibrate it at no cost. So we always want to maintain people's accuracy of the unit. And then of course, all of our products have a 2-year warranty.
So please don't be hammering the bearings out of them.
Don't ever hit this with a hammer.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
Or the slide, let's say, the common thing that people mistakenly do is they'll leave the slide forward and grit will collect on the slide, and then it'll either jam or seize, that stuff will rust in there. Just take it, send it to us, and we'll take care of it.
Very good.
A much lower cost situation than if you take a hammer.
Very good. Okay, so the differences, but besides the dollar amount from the 1810 show cost to the 2350 show cost, they're going to get, the difference is going to be motor size. There's going to be now the wheels interchange, I understand.
Right, so this machine can use a 1-inch wide wheel and a 1/2 inch wide wheel. It'll do straight conventional blades or curvy wavy mulching blades.
Okay.
It can also dial in angles from 25 degrees to 45 degrees in 5-degree increments.
And I noticed you made the platen is interchangeable.
Yep, and you can also, we put sequential holes in here so you can buy us more out on the right-hand side or the left-hand side if you want more support on one side or the other.
Okay, so.
And the grinding wheel change is very simple. You just simply loosen this knob and the guards, all these guards come away in one pull. So getting to the wheel is very quick. And a quick show you the work table.
By the way, now I have to say this, Gerd. I got the requisite phone call for every video. I have to have a phone call in it. Okay. So I don't know who it is that follows me around. Okay.
So under here, I loosened a bolt that you'll see now.
Okay.
And this is the table. This is the table for the rounded work table for mulching blades. And now we tighten that, and now we can do the curvy, wavy mulching blades.
All right. I like it. I like it a lot. And the tool is integrated so that you don't lose it.
Yep. We're hanging right on the stand there, so you keep the tools. Those are the tools for changing the grinding wheel.
Yeah, you've got a spanner wheel, spanner wrench here.
Right. So the spanner wrench is for the front of the arbor nut, these two holes, and this hooked wrench hooks behind into a square notch in the back of the arbor.
Very good. So hold the shaft itself.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Garrett, I appreciate you. It looked like that was pretty thorough. Now, let's talk about one thing. Mm-hmm. You offer a dust collector, and this is all in this price. It's all in.
Yep.
And there's a $40 difference between that machine and this one. Explain to the people when they order what the differences are between the 2350 and a 2390.
Well, keep in mind this is a blade cleaning machine. This has two big gangs of brushes. This is no longer a sharpener.
Okay.
And so it's got two gangs of brushes that are cleaning both the top and the bottom of the blade at the same time. But we've stepped it down at a much lower RPM. It's only around 900, so that it's doing more of a wiping action rather than how you would use an open wire wheel on a bench grinder where you get a lot of bristle breakage or filament breakage. Running at 1725 RPM, we're doing more of a wiping action, so we actually warranty the brushes. The actual brushes we warranty for 2 years. We kind of challenge people to wear them out in 2 years if they can, because we know how long they last. Almost no one can do that. And again, because it's more of a wiping action, then the bristles actually wearing down. They do wear down, but at a very slow rate, again, because we're at a slower speed, and we're engaging a lot of bristles together so that it's really aggressively getting in between all the bends and curvatures and the lifts of the blade.
Right. Okay, sounds good. Sounds great.
So keep in mind that's a different unit, but this is a horse and a half. So, I mean, the machines are all a little bit different.
Do you have any YouTubers that are influencers that are utilizing your machines that we can send them to, maybe link them to see a demonstration in the field?
Sure. One of the main one is Mitchell's Lawn and Landscape.
Okay. All right.
He's down in North Carolina, and he's used the machines for a long time. He actually found us here at the show a number of years ago.
Great.
So he's apparently very popular. And there are a number of other ones. I can't remember them all, but there are a number of them that make videos.
Well, let me say this, Garrett. Now, you've got a fan in Fisher Barton.
Yep. Well, we've been working with Fisher Barton since like the 1960s. You know, my grandfather was supplying them balancers, and we still do today. We rebuild all their balancers, and we work integral with them for their balance program and their quality control. So we'll make them different kinds of custom balancers. They use some of the standard ones, but a lot of theirs are made special for them.
Well, they really wanted people to meet you, so to speak, and let you know that they appreciate what you do for them. And I appreciate what you're doing for my subscribers and viewers. And hopefully at some point in time, if you're in Arkansas, come by MaxsGarajMahal. You'll be welcome anytime.
Very good.
And I thank you very kindly, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope that wasn't